All right, well, welcome to another episode of the JK podcast. Today we have Jose, me, a Big Kev, and other Kev, and we're going to be talking about the NBA Finals. Kevin, I think you want to congratulate me and Jose for you know, our, our appearance
I
in the
mean,
final.
first of all, I want to firstly congratulate LeBron for winning his fourth ring. I'm kidding, but
Damn.
actually, I'm glad to see Miami make it out of the East. It was pretty competitive this year, at least compared to most seasons. And
Agree.
congrats to the Lakers. They held down. Well, I mean, they basically I mean, I want to say they dominated Denver, but they held them at bay, kept them from coming back, played good defense, made their shots, unlike the Clippers. And yeah, just congrats to LeBron for making his 10th NBA championship. You know, people call him the GOAT for a reason. He's just reminding people why people forgot. And yeah, congrats to Jimmy Butler. He finally made it. He's been on the grind for years. He's always been wanting to go to a contending team, and he's finally on one. So I'm happy for him. And yeah, it's just congrats to both fan bases, the Lakers and Miami, and hopefully the best ones.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be basically talking about that today. We're going to be talking about the Lakers and the Heat in the NBA Finals. It's probably going to be a really good matchup. Lakers were able to, like Kevin said, handle the Nuggets, I would say, fairly easily. Not super easily, but
pretty well.
fairly. And the Miami Heat, I would say, were also very able to handle the Celtics rather easily. And now it seems like both teams, the best teams in each conference, made it to the NBA Finals. So we're going to be giving our takes on that, giving our analysis, what we think is going to happen, what we don't think is going to happen. And, well, I think I'll just start with you, Jose. What do you think about your Miami Heat? How do you feel about them going into the series? Do you think I know you think they have a chance. Give us your reasons why. Give us your little analysis on how the Heat can win and how do you think they'll pull it out if they can.
Yeah. I think it's obvious that the Lakers are the heavy favorites to win the championship. That being said, I think the Miami Heat have zero pressure to win these NBA Finals, and they're gritty. They think they're better than the Lakers. I honestly think they have the better team. The Lakers have the two best players by far, not even close. They got LeBron and AD. Part of the reason why I think the Heat have a big chance is because, man, the Lakers struggle at so many things. First of all, they're so inconsistent at basic things such as shooting free throws, shooting threes. They can fall asleep on defense at times, especially KCP and Danny Green. That doesn't happen with the Heat. Like, the Heat have managed to find a way to beat the best teams in the East. They did it with the Bucks. They built a wall on Giannis. They moved on to the Celtics. They adjusted. They played a zone. At times it worked. At times it didn't. But in every single game, except the I think it was Game 5 that we lost, our zone defense destroyed Boston in the fourth quarter. Like, they were knocking down any shot. And I think that I want to give a lot of credit to Spo. I think we have the best coach. It's not even close. I think Spoelstra is going to make a lot of good adjustments for us.
In the series or the league? In the series or the NBA? Spoelstra.
In the series, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, between him and Frank Vogel, I think Spo is the best coach.
No, hands down.
Yeah, I don't think it's even close. Okay. I think Pat Riley, Udonis, and Spo, organization in general, they know LeBron really well. LeBron knows them very well. But I think I heard this. I don't know if it was Chris Broussard said, Spo better watch some tape on LeBron when they played against San Antonio, because San Antonio probably did the best job on LeBron, in terms of playing defense. Like, obviously, like you said, LeBron's still gonna dominate. Like, he's still gonna drop 28, 9, and 8 or something like that. But that's containing LeBron still. So if we can contain LeBron, if we can contain AD, I think I'm saying Heat in 7 because obviously the Lakers are the heavy favorites. I don't expect the Heat to blow out the Lakers in any game. I expect every single game to be close. I don't even expect the Lakers to blow us out because I think LeBron and AD are gonna have to take too much of the load here. Like I don't expect Alex Caruso, I don't expect Rondo, I don't expect ACP and Danny Green and those guys to knock down shots, but I do, or Morris, but I do expect Duncan Robinson to knock down some shots. I expect Jay Crowder to knock down shots. I expect Dragic to knock down shots. Tyler Hero is going to get his buckets. Like Tyler Hero's been averaging 16 points per game in the playoffs, and he just broke Jason Tatum's rookie record for most consecutive 10-plus points in his first playoffs in every single game. Like I think the Heat have now played 15 games, and Tyler Hero has dropped 10 points or more in every single game. So he's scoring consistently. Like that's like our fifth or sixth best player on the team. So I know that the Heat are going to go very deep. It'll be interesting to see how the Lakers play it out because I thought that the advantage would be the height advantage, but the Lakers demonstrated they don't even know how to use their height advantage when they played the Rockets. So I think that the Heat have a much greater chance to win the series.
I don't think it's fair to say that they didn't use the height advantage against the Rockets because the Rockets, they didn't. It's not like they had. Okay, like it's not the same guarding PJ Tucker in the corner than guarding Bam, which is a very fast and mobile center inside the paint, but you're still in the paint if you're like JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard or whatever. But if you're PJ Tucker, they're luring you out of the paint. That's why they didn't play the bigs all that much. Like I don't think the comparison is very fair. But regarding, do you really think Tyler Hero is the fifth or sixth best player on your team?
He is.
I'd say he's better than that. I'd say name 5 players better than
sure.
Tyler Hero.
I mean, you can name probably 4. You could say Jimmy, Bam, Goran. You could probably throw in maybe Jay Crowder or Iggy, and then
Iggy.
I mean, in terms of defense, and I don't know.
I would throw,
but Tyler Hero can play.
I would throw Jay Crowder. I would throw Jay
and
Crowder
also experience.
Yeah, Tyler Hero can't play defense. So I'm throwing Jay Crowder.
Score that Hero. Anyway, okay.
But whatever.
Well, I think obviously I think the Lakers are going to win. We have both of the 2 best players in the league. Remaining in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think LeBron James is as determined as he's ever been. He's super motivated, not only because of Kobe Bryant, but he wants to keep adding to his legacy. He wants to catch the ghost of Michael Jordan, as he says. He wants to get that 4th ring. He wants to keep improving his finals resume, which is at 33% win percentage right now, which is historically it is historic. Like the number is bad. It's not exactly telling of what it actually happened because we all know not all the finals were fair. But he obviously wants to improve that record. Anthony Davis wants to be cemented as one of the greatest power forwards to ever play the game. I think Dwight Howard and Rajon Rondo are going to be extra motivated, especially Dwight Howard, to get that first championship and retire as a champion. I think Dwight Howard, that's all he needs, at least in my eyes, to retire as a cemented one of the greatest centers of all time. Not saying he's like top 5 or anything, but he's definitely like in the top 10. Rajon Rondo is obviously super motivated. He'd do something that is very, very unheard of, which is win a championship with the Celtics and the Lakers. I don't think anyone has ever done that. That'd be really cool and impressive. I think everyone's just going to be super motivated. I think they're going to hit shots. I think like our co-host Javierito said to us privately, I think Danny Green's going to wake up. He's going to play really good defense. He's probably going to hit. I'm not saying he'll explode. I'm not saying he'll score 20 points per game. Will he score 10 instead of 3? Possibly. I'll take 10 points from him. I think Kyle Kuzma is extra motivated because Tyler Hero has his ex-girlfriend. That's something to look forward to.
I don't think he cares at all.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I know he doesn't care. But
Danny
Kyle
Green
Kuzma
sucks at defense. Go on.
Yeah, he's all right. But he's trash at shooting. He's trash at offense. That we can agree on. But I don't think he's terrible at defense. Not super terrible.
He lets guy blows by him. Like he'll just let the
Yeah,
guy
but he's a good
pass.
help. He's a good help defender and a very good fast break defender. Like he's been like meeting people at the rim these playoffs and stuff. He's been pretty okay, I'd say. Like he's not doing what he's supposed to do, which is perimeter play, but in like help defense situations, he's been fine. I think KCP, I give him a lot of shit, but he's been okay. Like he just looks really terrible whenever he's like bad. He looks like awful. He just looks awful, but he's been okay. I think Markieff is gonna play well. JaVale McGee, I doubt he'll see much run time. I just think I think LeBron's probably gonna average like 30, 10, and 10. AD's probably gonna average like 30 and 11.
We'll see if he rebounds.
He will rebound, Jose, because he will be guarding a paint player instead of perimeter players. Therefore, he will be inside the paint to rebound.
Wasn't he guarding Jokic?
Jokic was playing on the perimeter for most of the series until he had to dominate in the fourth quarter. You know, Jokic was shooting fadeaways, shooting threes. That's mainly what he was doing. Jamal Murray was getting the floor open for him so he could drive and, kick out or do whatever he needs to do. Nonetheless, I think AD is going to have a really good series. LeBron, I think this is probably going to be like a historic series for him. I might be forgetting someone on the team. I don't know.
Caruso, bro. You haven't even talked about Caruso.
No, Caruso, he'll be Caruso. I just don't think like he'll elevate because like he's not. I mean, he is obviously playing for a championship, but there's not really any added motivation to him, like I said about LeBron or Dwight or AD or stuff like that. Like Caruso's Caruso. He'll be Caruso. I was gonna say something about the Heat. You said they have nothing to lose, but like I know they're not the favorites, and I know that they're not supposed to win the series. But at the same time, Jimmy Butler and Dragic know that the clock is ticking for them to win the championship. And like Jimmy Butler, how many finals is he gonna sniff after this one?
We'll see.
Especially with
I'm
Brooklyn.
I'm not saying he can't like make it again, but it has to be in his mind like this. And same with Iguodala, not Iguodala because he's pretty cemented already, but like Jimmy Butler's got to be thinking like, man, my first NBA final, the first time it really works out on a team that I've been like, even though he's really propelled each team he's been on, this is the first time where it's really gelled well.
Yeah.
I think he got that in his mind. He knows that the clock is. He's like 31. He knows the clock is ticking for him to at least win something. It'll do a lot for his legacy since he's not really a regular season award getter.
Yeah.
If he wins with the Heat, he'll be pretty.
Hall of Famer.
Like I mean, I don't know. He still has career to go. He still has a couple of years to go, but he'll definitely like climb the list of all-time players if he wins a championship with the Heat this year. I think he's thinking about that. Pat Riley obviously won, but he has nothing to do with the game itself. But like he definitely wants to beat LeBron and get another ring. He does. I don't know. I think the Lakers will win. I'll give the Lakers I get the Lakers in 6. I respect the Heat. I really do. Like I told you a couple minutes ago before we started recording, I won't be mad if the Heat win. I'll be sad because my team lost. But the Heat really, if they win, they really, really deserve it. They've shut everyone up. They've made it this far. Like they've really, really earned what they've gotten right now.
Yeah.
So if they win, there's no way I can be mad at it. I'll just be sad because I'm a fan. But there's just no being mad about it. Like no one can be mad about the Heat winning. I don't think they will. But
part of the reason why I think the Heat got the series is because I look at the Lakers roster and it kind of looks like it sucks, bro. The more I look at it, looks like it's just.
We got a lot of playoff performers though. I think we'll be fine.
We'll see.
We'll see. Champions. We got a lot of champions on our team.
But LeBron and AD, I expect.
Danny Green. Who else?
LeBron, Rondo, Dwight Howard's made the finals. LeBron James is a multiple. JaVale McGee, Quinn Cook.
What did JaVale McGee do in the finals, bro? It's like
or Quinn Cook, but yeah, but
No, but they're
It's-
still.
I
on
mean, you
championship
could say Dwight
experience,
Howard, but he's not
bro.
the same Dwight Howard. I mean, he could probably
Nah, I'm
be.
not saying he's the same Dwight Howard, but experience is experience. Same thing
Like,
with
dude,
Iguodala. He's not
I guess
Iguodala.
Rondo. I guess Rondo. Yeah, I forgot about Rondo, but I don't know. It's like
J.R. Smith
like
is on the team.
they're all like
It's just about like Jose
they don't even
mentioned
play
Udonis
JR.
Haslem. Yeah, but Jose mentioned Udonis Haslem. It's not because he plays. It's because he's a veteran. Like he's basically an extension of the
No,
coach.
but I was mentioning Udonis Haslem like by saying that he
About
knows
knowing
LeBron.
LeBron. I know what you meant. But what I'm saying is like people recognize that Udonis Haslem is on the team not because he plays, because he doesn't step on the court all year. But like he's an extension of the coach. He knows about what he's been seeing for the past whatever amount of
Yeah,
years.
he's the
Like
leader.
that experience matters. Yeah, he's a leader. That experience matters. Even though J.R. Smith ain't playing, it doesn't mean that he can't advise, for example, the young players or like advise someone that might be like a little bit erratic, like for example KCP. Like
Who's not gonna
literally
listen
J.R.
to
Smith,
JR, bro?
KCP
Yeah,
is
no one's gonna listen to JR,
It's
but
a
bro.
JR, bro.
no, but what I'm saying is, like, for example, KCP is in the exact same position that JR was. Like, he's the starting shooting guard for like LeBron's team. He's just a spot up shooter. But like, I don't know. I think like being a mentor is important. I'm not saying that JR is exactly a mentor, but like the Lakers have a lot of championship experience on their team, and I think that helps. That's all. That's all.
Yeah,
I
but
meant
yeah,
by
but like
championship.
I expect these games to be close, and the Miami Heat have the best team in terms of like
Me too.
closing out games and
Me too.
closing out in the fourth quarter. When I look at the Lakers, like obviously I expect LeBron to be great. I expect Anthony Davis to be great. But apart from them, like I'm not expecting Rondo or Caruso or one of those guys to be hitting big shots in the end of the game. I can see that happening with
Yeah,
Jimmy
but at
or
the
with
same
Tyler,
time,
with
at,
Bam, with
at at the same time, weren't we talking about the Heat? I mean, not the Heat. The Lakers being 52-0 or no, or maybe like 53-0 entering the fourth quarter with a lead. Like that matters. Like you're saying the Heat are like a really good closing team, but the Lakers, like, they're not bad either. Like they're not a bad closing team either. They got maybe the best closer in the NBA in LeBron James, and I'd say the best big man in the series. And like at the end of the game, it'll probably come down to who are the better players, and I think the Lakers
yeah, but the
have
Lakers
the
at
better
time
players.
sometimes they look like they're about to blow leads, and the Heat are usually coming back. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not scared of the Lakers 53-0 record when leading in the fourth quarter. Like
Also,
say they're
something
up by 3, I
about
don't expect the
something
Lakers
that
to win.
I wouldn't say that. That's kind of disrespectful to LeBron James.
No,
But something that I
if
will
they're
add
if they're
about
entering the fourth
Bam.
quarter winning by 3, it doesn't mean they're gonna win the game because they have a 53-0 record. That's what I'm saying.
No, but listen, like
Just because you're up doesn't mean
Yeah,
you're
I
gonna
know,
win.
I know. I'm not that, but yeah, but just because it's a close game doesn't mean they're gonna lose.
I'm not
But
saying that, but I'm saying
anyway,
there's a chance. Just a 53-0
And it's a
record
high chance. Yeah.
it doesn't mean squat in
anyway,
the finals.
if also the Lakers are a very good. I know they're poor free throw shooters, but they're also really good at drawing fouls. What happens if Bam gets into foul trouble like Jokic did all series?
I
What are
mean,
y'all gonna
maybe
do?
I expect
Deploy
Spa
out
to
Myers
make
Leonard? You know,
adjustments, but I want to see, and this is something I was talking with my brother. I want to see the refs. Like they got to stop blowing whistles like too much. Like don't over.
it's gonna keep being awful, bro. It's gonna keep being awful.
Bro,
The officiating has been
I don't want to
trash
see
in the bubble.
I don't want to see AD flopping and playing like a little girl and then getting 16 free throws when he's supposed to be attacking the rim aggressively. I don't want to see
That's how the
Anthony
bubble's been.
Davis
It's gonna keep being
taking
like this.
crappy shots, looking for fouls. So I don't know, man.
I don't know. The bubble officiating has been absolutely ass, and I think it'll continue to be like that for both teams. I think it'll be ass for both teams. But Kevin, what do you? I know you got the Heat winning. Obviously
I
for obvious reasons, because
mean, I don't.
LeBron's on my team. But what's your
I mean,
reasoning behind it, your explanation with like what do
I
you
mean,
got?
I don't hate LeBron, man. I just said he was a goat at the beginning, but I don't know. I've just been like, I've been saying this like the whole playoffs. Like, I just didn't really believe in the Lakers playmaking. They've been proving me wrong, but I still believe like at some point they're going to go up against a team that was well coached, that can make shots. I thought maybe Houston could have given them like at least 6 games, but they couldn't. I thought maybe if the Clippers got past the Nuggets, they probably could have given them a little run for their money, but it turns out the team that's going to do that is the Miami Heat. And they're basically everything I thought like those teams were going to be. Like, you know, they're well coached, got really good defenders on the team, switchable, can make shots, consistent. She got a bunch of shooters. They're basically like, they're essentially Warriors-esque, San Antonio Spurs-esque. Some people even compare it to Detroit, but they're way better offensively. At least the 04 Pistons. But I'm just saying, I feel like this team, if you have to choose between like a team that could beat a team that's just led by just basically essentially 2 superstars, is a team that's super deep, and that's what Miami is. Like I've been saying this for the whole playoffs. It's just the other teams couldn't pull it together. But what I've seen in these playoffs, it seems like Miami can't do that. They've like both series they won. I mean, the first series was they won in 4. They beat the number 1 seed in the East, the Milwaukee Bucks, in 5. Then they took they could have easily won against the Celtics in 5, but they just kind of choked at the end. But regardless, like I just feel like with Coach Poster's coaching, it's just like just simply the shooting on the team is going to be enough to potentially take them to at least 6 or 7. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they could. They have a pretty good chance. Yeah. And also with guys like Bam Adebayo, like he's basically been stepping up. You could say he's definitely Miami Heat's most important player right now.
Yeah.
Like besides like Jimmy having like that 140-point game, like it's basically after that it's just been Bam, 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 basically.
No, the Heat don't beat the Bucks without Bam. So
yeah, like
he's their most important.
And also with like AD, I don't know, he doesn't really like to bang, so Bam's gonna force him, bang a little bit. He doesn't like contact, maybe. I don't know. Like I think it's just force him off his rhythm. He's probably gonna, since he's probably not gonna want to bang down low, so he's probably gonna take a few more shots, which probably leads to more misses and more rebounds and more decision plays. But as long as Bam doesn't really get in foul trouble, which he probably will, I think Miami should be able to. But also, like, this isn't Houston. They have other centers on the team. And, like, if they're getting, like, destroyed on the boards, they can just throw in another big guy with Bam or something to help with the rebounding, help with LeBron's, driving to the lane. Like I'm sure, like, they're probably not going to be able to stop LeBron from driving, but he's probably going to be way more hesitant when you have, like, 2 7-footers. And that's probably going to force him to take I don't know, LeBron. Like, just throw in, like, Miles Leonard or, like, I guess Bam's not really a 7-footer, but he's a big. I mean,
come on,
Myers Leonard is more intimidating than having Robert Covington down low. So
yeah,
LeBron James is not scared of Myers Leonard, bro.
I'm not saying he is, but it's just gonna force him to second guess driving. Like when you're like, oh, there's a 6'7" dude in the lane, I'm just gonna dunk on him. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm probably gonna get. And also like you got like Jimmy, you got like guys like Ice that can defend in the playoffs. Like I'm not gonna say LeBron's gonna get locked up, but it's just he's gonna force him to play differently. Maybe force him to play like more perimeter based, and at least I mean in the playoffs he's been playing pretty good. Like he's been making his threes like crazy, but historically that's not what he's been.
Yeah, and we know LeBron's in my opinion he's the GOAT, but like, and we've seen how well Iguodala has played, and we obviously LeBron play. I know. Obviously, you're not gonna stop LeBron, but you can't say that they didn't do a good job on him. Like
that was 5 years ago, bro. Iguodala played him 5 years ago, bro.
What?
Long ass time. Iguodala stopped him 5 years ago, bro.
Well, that's fine, but he's done it before, and he's playing good defense, bro. It's not like he's washed, bro. He's doing his thing.
I'm not saying he's washed, but it's not the same thing, bro.
Okay, but I'm saying we got Jimmy, we got Jay Crowder, we got Iggy. Like, we're gonna throw different bodies on LeBron all the time. I'm not saying we're gonna stop him, but we're gonna and I expect LeBron to be very aggressive in the finals. I expect him to be great, but he's gonna need his guys to knock down shots. And I don't expect the Lakers to knock down shots. So
at least have the same clip as the Heat, at least.
Exactly. At least like I can say like Crowder. I'd rather have Crowder would probably knock down more open shots than any of the Lakers role players. Duncan will knock down more shots than any of the Lakers role players. Goran is more capable of knocking down open shots than any of the Lakers role players. So is Tyler Hero. Like, we got the better shooters. We got great defenders. I think we have better defenders too. Especially, given how well I think we can play LeBron and we can play the small ball well. I think we're going to go with a small ball lineup. I don't think Spo is going to play Myers Leonard. I want him to play Myers Leonard. I don't think he's going to play him because he hasn't played him all playoffs. There's really no reason to have him out there. But I expect the Heat to play small ball probably. JaVale McGee will not be a factor in the series. So, and Dwight Howard is not that big of a dude. So I think the Heat will be fine.
Yeah.
Something that I found interesting about what you said, Kevin, is the Detroit Pistons thing. I do see like a similarity between like these Lakers and the back then Lakers and maybe like these Heat and those Pistons. The difference is the only reason I believe the Lakers lost in 2004, not only because the Pistons were a really good team, but that team had chemistry issues. This Lakers team does not. So I know I like the comparison about the Heat and the Pistons, but like I just don't think these Lakers like really compare to that series with those Lakers. I don't know. That's gonna be a really good series. I don't expect any of the two teams to blow each other out.
Yeah.
I expect every game to be somewhat close.
Yeah.
Maybe at most like 10 points at most from either team. I don't know. I still got the Lakers winning in 6 games. I think LeBron is like gonna go sicko mode, and I don't know. May the best man win. Literally, this series, may the best man win. I won't be mad if the Heat win. I really won't.
Yeah, I'm taking the Heat in 7. Obviously, I'm taking the Heat in 7. That means I don't expect the Heat to win. I know they have a chance to win, and that's why. And I know it's not that big of a chance either. But I'm picking Heat because I'm a Heat fan, and I know they're capable of winning the series. So I'm picking them in 7. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Lakers in 7 or Lakers in 6, but I'm going with Heat in 7.
Okay. You got what you got, Kevin? How many games?
I'm going with the Heat because I've seen like at least similarly built teams beat LeBron before. So at least with San Antonio, you can say early Golden State. Yeah, I mean you could say they had Steph Curry, but in terms of like teams, it's basically the same. I was built.
I would say more like San Antonio.
I don't know, like he's more like San Antonio.
I'd still disagree.
But I don't know. I just simply like I said, I just think Miami has more depth, and so you can say like Miami. I mean, the Lakers have LeBron and AD, but at the end of the day, it's a team sport, and I think Miami has an overall better team. But it's a star-driven league, so I mean it can go either way. I'm still going Miami because simply like I expect from what I've seen in the playoffs. Like Miami's at least been more consistent, at least in terms of like their role players. So I expect them to show up. They haven't shown me anything to, not believe in them. So I'm going to keep riding with them, and hopefully I'm right. But honestly, it doesn't really matter to me who wins. If LeBron wins, congratulations, 4 rings. And then if Miami wins, congratulations to the 315 and Pat Riley.